Hello, my friends. Jacob is here once again. Thank you for pressing play. I'm at the table here in my kitchen. Got some work being done at the house. I wasn't going to do a show on this because I know that right now Joel Osteen is getting a hammering. I actually met the man a couple of times when I was working at the big Christian network that I worked at for many, many years. So I got to know a lot of these mega pastors very, very intimately. I wrote shows for them. I did research on them, and I thought Joel was a nice guy a couple of times that I met him. That being said, the whole establishment, the reason why I left it was kind of like I believe I was meant to go there to kind of understand how this whole system works. It's really a big, big business. And I don't like to bash organizations. I think that there's a great proverb: a tree is known by its fruit, so you can tell if something is on the level or not. You judge it by its fruit. You can tell if something's corrupt, it'll produce rotten fruit. If it's not corrupt, the fruit will be sweet and it'll be life-giving. And of course, that is more metaphor. I've been taking a little bit of a beating from a lot of people who I obviously didn't watch the video that I just shared about that discovery, which basically stated that a lot of the early Christians, they tended to look at the scriptures more from a spiritual point of view, and they didn't really focus too much on the literal. At no point in time did I ever say that the literal is not something that we should consider, because that would kind of be foolish. If you've seen my shows enough times, you know that I think it's important that we should love, like literally, not kill people, not hate, not condemn, not cast out, not forsake, not come on here and tell me how bad I am after a year of being good to you and saying that you're leaving me, because love never forsakes, it never gives up. So this is a great little topic because, I said in the video about the eclipse and what was going to come after it, and how a lot of people were telling, a lot of Christians, mind you, a lot of so-called prophetic Christians were saying that the eclipse was spelling out doom. And I came on and I said, it's about a time of testing. It's a time of awakening and renewal, and people are going to start seeing the truth for what it is. I had said that in that video. I had said that it's going to be a time of testing. I had said that, we're going to start to see what kind of metal people are made of. I had said that there would be a time of revealing, an awakening, if you will, that the lights were going to go on, and that truth that is bursting within us, that has been dead for so long, is about to wake people up and get them to see that, the nonsense that you've been putting your faith in, the religious system, the political system, the socio-economical system, whatever system, the entertainment industry, all this stuff that you get, all this stuff that you're putting your faith into, all this stuff that you're getting your joy and your peace from, or so you think. It's time to wake up from that. And I think that the truth, I've been saying this at least, the truth about these industries are going to start to be manifest. This terrible hurricane, this is historic. It's never happened, and I can't even imagine. And my heart goes out to every single person who's affected by this. And I've put links below as to where you can help. And unlike some big major churches that say, here, donate, to this organization like Lakewood Church did, donate to Lakewood Church Relief. And I know that they probably give quite a bit of money out, but you're still paying the system so that they can then send those funds in other places. So they're still making a dime on people suffering. So I do have some links, the Red Cross and other ones that actually need your help, like right now, because they're on the ground and they're dealing with this. And we're gonna get through this. But it's interesting that this storm came to Corpus Christi, and I said in my last video that the storm was coming to the body of Christ, and that Harvey means, right? It's like it's a time of testing, right? Remember, I talked about that, and it seems like we're going through a time of testing right now. And it's interesting that, the most beloved pastor of all time, Joel Osteen, we're starting to see that maybe that love of Christ that everybody is talking about ain't really the first thing on their minds. I watched the interviews afterwards where Joel was quickly, coming to he was quickly responding to all the criticism, which of course there was that first tweet where it said that, they've been inundated with severe flooding, and so it's closed for business, basically. They put that tweet out, that big one, and they said, if you want, go to these places instead. It wasn't too long after that was taken down completely. So that's clue number one, that their heart wasn't in the right place to begin with. Clue number two is then the big campaign to say, we never closed our doors. And they say it in such a way where, if you listen to it, it's not exactly the doors that we were talking about.
Well, let me start by saying the doors were never closed. And in fact, we did have people come to the church on Sunday evening, or maybe it was Monday morning, but it was sometime overnight. We had about 10 people here at the church, and they rode out the storm here. A few were maintenance people who were keeping an eye on the flooding, were just maintaining the building. Others were here to receive anyone who came into the church needing help.
So then it wasn't long after that, all of a sudden, the media was flooded with pictures of flooding, and we were all led to believe that was the Lakewood Church and that it was severely flooded. But there was something about those pictures that just really got me thinking. I'm like, I wonder if this has nothing to do with the literal church. I wonder if it has nothing to do with that literal mega church, that 16,000 seat Coliseum that, by the way, Joel Osteen paid for with cash for all of you that have mortgages out there, as well as, I'm sure, his $10 million mansion. These people have a lot of money, and I like Joel, and I like that he makes everybody feel good about themselves, but I still believe that very few people are really seeking the truth. Because if that tree isn't producing good fruit, then what is everyone that is eating at that tree gonna get? That prosperity message, right? That you can, that God is good and that you're going to prosper, and not the message that's true. That when hard times come your way, that perhaps those hard times are there to wake you up and to put you back on the right path. That when things happen to you, that perhaps it's not that they're happening to you so much as that they're happening for you, and that you need to learn a lesson from this. But that's not the stuff that Joel's preaching about. Now, he doesn't have a lot of people that criticize him. I'm not a preacher. I put out a video just last week or a couple of weeks before where I just basically share some insights. And I say, I'm not saying it's true, but it's something to think about. Every single video where I say to you, each and every one of you, the most important thing. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. I'm not going to tell you where to put your faith, but I am going to say you need to question more, and you need to say, teach me the truth no matter what the cost. Whoever that prayer is made to, or that meditation, or that thought, it's there for a reason, because I believe there is more, and that more will come and answer you. Just like I believed that all this stuff that was happening with the eclipse, and then with the storm, and then with this September 23rd sign that's about to happen, I believe that it's all symbolically evident. A time of awakening is upon us. So I looked at Joel Osteen's pictures. And I listened to his brother kind of talk about how, well, this place has been flooded in the past. And then we start to realize that, oh my goodness, Lakewood Church was never really flooded at all. In fact, there was nothing really to worry about. And then I took it a step further, and I actually started digging for these pictures. And I saw the pictures, and I have them here. And it was an interesting thing, because at the bottom there was a caption. It said, these pics were taken of Norfolk by Lakewood Church. Hope all is safe and pray for the rain to stop. basically, they're just showing this place called Norfolk. So all you got to do is, you look for a campus map, and you find out that this area is like an underground parking garage that, of course, would be flooded because it probably floods all the time, off, like way away from the area that could have helped people. All those pictures that circulated showing that, the entrance to the building, there's no flood, there were like 20 cars that behind the building. All this stuff, all these pictures were showing that, doesn't look like there was any flooding at all, even though they were leading people to believe that by clever placement of photos and, little newsworthy bites that Joel then, persuaded, gave to everyone. Now, this guy is a big player. So, of course, because look, if this religious system, this prosperity message that we hear about, if this system is actually really not good for us, if it's really keeping us farther from loving each other, because let's face it, today, how many people are really loving each other? How many people do you know at your own church that loves, the person that believes differently than them? How many times do you go to church and you hear people backbiting and yammering on about this person or that person? You go to the church today, and it really doesn't seem like a place where the meek and the downtrodden are made welcome. In fact, in the one time of need, they said, hey, because of severe flooding, we're unable to, continue on with business. And they weren't flooded. So what does that tell you? Does that tell you something? Now they're open for business, but they're only open for business so long as the other shelters are at capacity. What is that about exactly? Now, perhaps this time of testing that I was talking about coming to the body of Christ, perhaps that is upon us. Perhaps that this eclipse, the 7 year between eclipses, perhaps this is a time where we're going to start seeing the truth about people. I believe it. I've been saying it for a long time. The religious establishment, look, if it isn't true, it's going to fall away because only the truth in the end stands. It's time for us all to start really loving on each other. And look, I don't want to condemn Joel Osteen. Look, I don't even know how I would react. I'm far from having anywhere near that amount of money, or even maybe like a little bit of his salary that he's paid on top of all the billions of dollars he makes on all of his books and his appearances and everything else. And of course, there were those really mean tweets. I got to tell you, some of them were kind of funny. There was one tweet that I thought was funny where, I think it said something like, Lakewood Church doesn't shelter people in their time of need. It's only for taxes, or something like that. Because, of course, there's that separation of church and state, supposedly, even though that we know that the religious system is also another arm of this new world order, this one world, control system that is put in place to keep you in line and to keep you doing what you're meant to do. So of course, they're going to get their little loopholes in there, and they're going to get their money. And then why should, a multimillionaire pay taxes, right? Why should, the churches that are being given all of this money, why should they have to then take some of that money and then put it into things like infrastructure, roads, and programs? Why should they have to do that? No, they'll just do it on their own, they say. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of people are opposed to the church being taxed. I think that if I have to pay taxes, then I think that so should Joel Osteen. I think so should Joyce Meyer. I think so should anyone that is making a buck and calling it God. You watch these shows and they say, send in your love gift and you'll get this free lamp. Or you get this nice, this frankincense and myrrh. Send in your love gift. And what are you basically saying? You're saying, give me your money and I'm going to send you a trinket. What about giving it away for free? What about really shocking the world, Joel? What about housing everybody by buying them their houses? How about that? How about really we see what Jesus said to the rich man, where he said, you really want to follow, you want to know the truth? Go sell everything you have and follow me. Maybe it's time that this megachurch system starts to listen. What do you think? In the meantime, I hope I'm not giving Joel Osteen fans a hard time. I personally think he's a great speaker and everything else, but I don't think it's any coincidence that this all went down in the time that I said it would go down. I don't think it's any coincidence that we're starting to see that this nonsense that you've been putting your faith into ain't getting you anywhere. It's time for people to go into the closet. It's time for people to go and find the truth for themselves. Just by saying, teach me the truth no matter what the cost. It's time for people to start helping each other. So I hope that each and every one of you can reach out to those in need right now. And I love you all. This was like kind of a last minute thing after a conversation I had with someone who's become just a dear friend. And you may know him too. His name is KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel. If you haven't gone by his channel and told KJ how much you love him, you should do so, because he is just an awesome man. And we were talking about this just recently. Just today we were actually talking about it. And I really felt like it was something that I should talk to you all about. In any event, I love each and every one of you. I want to thank you all. Please do subscribe, please share the videos and everything else. And you don't got to send me any money. I'm not a preacher or a priest or anything. I don't need your money. I have a full-time job. But what I would like you to do is to share the video around. Tell your friends about the channel, especially if it's been a blessing to you. Because you know why? Because then you let the advertisers send me $1 or $2. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.